dumb move because all the judges want to... Well, no, it was a 5-4 vote. It wasn't actually a swing.
Yes.
Well, I feel that the Bible is clear, he says. What God defines marriage as, Philip says, as his daughter Lisa works on the latest confections. For me to violate that would be for me to rebel against God, to take what he's designed and say it doesn't matter. The problem for Phillips is that Colorado, like 21 other states, has a law barring discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation. His claim that the First Amendment protects his freedom of expression based on his religious beliefs failed to convince the Colorado Civil Rights Commission last year. The commission is actually seated largely by black people. Well, 28 states have no such laws, so gays and lesbians freed to marry by the Supreme Court last month still face discrimination in employment, housing, and public accommodations. Maybe don't be gay anymore. Well, Phillips, like Washington State florist Barronelle Stutzman, Kentucky painter Blaine Adamson, Illinois bed and breakfast owners Jim and Beth Walder, and New York family farm owners Robert and Cynthia Gifford, as well as New York-based Chris and Catherine Taylor, I believe his religious objections and obligations are paramount. In the meantime, rather than bake for same-sex weddings, Phillips stopped making wedding cakes altogether and says his revenue has dropped by about 40%. Geez, that is a hell of a good business model.
Yes.
You know, you're open for business. You're making 100% of your money every month.
Yes.
You close the doors, and somehow he's still making 60%. I want to know what that business is. Yeah. Oh, wait, dumbass, it's cake making. Well, the issue could be heading towards the Supreme Court in the coming years. Last year, the justices turned down a petition from the owners of a New Mexico photography studio who lost a similar freedom of expression case over their refusal to work at a lesbian couple's wedding. Now, several other cases such as Phillips are making their way through the state and federal courts. Gay rights groups predict that they will continue to win those lawsuits. The courts have very consistently held that this is not a free speech or religious freedom issue, that it's about discrimination. Well, I would kind of say, let's look at the bigger picture.
Yes.
All those men on the beaches of Normandy and No, hear me out, you little Jew. They were coming to save you. You know, all the losses, all the death, all the destruction, all the killing. You know, we fought and died in every war, foreign and the ones we made. You know, we fight and die for what? I thought it was the right to choose.
Yes.
Huh? Well, I mean, that's freedom, right?
Yes.
You know, do I want to go to work today? Am I going to call in sick? No, well, now we can call in homosexual. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. You can do that now. That's actually legally, you know, if you actually, you know, got a paycheck from us, Gilbert.
Yes.
You know, if you were an employee of ours and you actually, you know, called in one day and said, "Well, I'm Healer Godfried and I'm homosexual today, so I'm not coming in." You know, if you did that, we would have to accept that.
Yes.
Yeah, we'd have to. We couldn't do anything about that. Oh, well, you're gay now.
Yes.
Okay, well, you know, obviously you want to stay home and I don't know, watch Turkish bath videos or something. So you're not coming in. But we can't fire you for that anymore.
Yes.
No. We used to be able to back when we, had choice.
Yes.
Yeah. But, you know, that's what I mean. That's that we don't have freedom in this country.
Yes.
We just don't. It's oh, well, you can't do that now. Supreme Court fucked you on that one. And, of course, nobody says shit about my brilliant, absolutely stunningly brilliant, spared no expense on the talent, Gilbert Gottfried impression. Yeah. Come on, that was gold.
Yes.
Idiot.
Yes.
Yes, well, those gay rights folks, they're going to continue to win those lawsuits, of course. The courts have consistently held that this is not a free speech or religious freedom issue. It's about discrimination, and that discrimination is a violation of state laws, says Sarah Warbelow, legal director of the Human Rights Campaign, the nation's largest gay rights organization. Yeah, at least I know who to target when I'm firebombing. Well, a recent poll conducted by the Newsom Institute found that only 38% of Americans say businesses providing wedding services should be required to serve same-sex couples despite their religious objections. That's down, of course, from 52% in 2013 when Oprah said it was fashionable. That's right. The court often tends to follow public opinion, but the Supreme Court has sided with religious believers before, and recently by allowing an exception to the Affordable Care Act's requirement that most businesses offer health insurance coverage or contraceptives that some equate with abortion. We have to offer our staff condoms? What? Okay, I'm not going to say nothing and just claim ignorance. I think it's crucial for the court to weigh in, says Jeremy Tedesco, senior legal counsel at the conservative group the Alliance Defending Freedom, who argued that Phillips's case in court this month for him. I think there's going to be a lot of litigation in this area, and inevitably there's going to be a lot of conflicts. Well, Phillips' legal battle actually began 3 years ago when Charlie Craig and David Mullins came in to order a cake for their wedding reception. While the wedding was held in Massachusetts, where same-sex marriage had been legal since 2004, the celebration was planned for back home in Colorado. Unfortunately for the couple, an earlier incident in Phillips' life made their brief exchange unappetizing. It occurred back in 1978. Really? 1978, when Phillips, then working the night shift at a local bakery and drinking beer after work at the local bar, says he became a born-again Christian. His religion, he says now, is everything. Craig and Mullins filed civil rights complaints and won, first before the administrative court judge and then before full commission. It ruled that Phillips must serve same-sex couples and educate his staff and file quarterly reports for 2 years. Educate his staff.
Yes.
That reminds me of another Homeland Security. We will educate our staff on the ways of the Jews. So what am I to understand here?
Yes.
So if the Supreme Court votes and says it's okay to gas the Jews, we can do that again? It's time we moved on from using religion as an excuse to discriminate. Again, I don't understand this.
Yes.
If I just don't... Well, here's the thing, Gilbert.
Yes.
Here's the thing. You remember the signs in all the little stores in Manhattan, of course?
Yes.
No hat, no shoes, no shirt, no service, right?
Yes.
Well, that's basically saying if you don't, have the respect enough to wear a shirt and shoes, and I don't know where the hell I got a hat from.
Yes.
But... if you're not going to wear those simple things, we refuse the right to serve you, period. That's just the way it is.
Yes.
That's a choice thing. Stores didn't have to do that back then.
Yes.
And even before that, there was no public place that had to display signs, no colored. That's what I loved about America. You could open up your coffee shop or whatever, and you could serve the colored,
yes,
or not serve the colored and post a sign.
Yes.
It was your choice, and it's like right now. That's like me saying, "Well, I don't want any black motherfuckers listening to HTLA."
Oh my God, he's becoming black. I like it.
Oh God. Well, no, but you know what I'm getting at.
Yes.
This is completely ridiculous. Like, so we don't have the choice now to well, somebody walks in, first
Yes.
of all, to your store, or whatever the hell it is you're selling. I don't care what it is you're selling. You walk in, unless the guy is humping another guy while he's humping in your store. Yes, sir. Can I help you?
Yes.
No, it's all right. Thank you. Jerry's helping me. All right, I'll leave you to it. Would you like a condom?
Yes.
No, it's all right. We can't have babies. We're men. Yeah. That's what does? Oh, well, the Supreme Court ruled I have to offer them a condom. If they choose not to use it and pull out and spray all over my floor, I just get to mop it up. Holy Christ.
They get f***ing crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Yeah, or too many are loving them. Yeah. I'm steamed.
Yes.
Yes, it's time we moved on from religion and using that to discriminate, Craig said after the latest hearing. No one should be told they are less than anyone else. Well, Craig, right here on live radio, you, sir, are less than anyone else. That's right. Especially at a joyous time like a wedding. Oh, wait, I should say that properly. Especially at a joyous time in a wedding. Would you like a condom?
Yes.
I'm sorry. This is disgusting shit. Nobody should have to put up with this. Of course, I'm not talking about the homosexuals. I'm talking about this show. Well, James Essex, who directs gay rights issues for the American Civil Liberties Union, likens Phillips' effort to those of other commercial establishments to posting a sign on the front door, "No wedding cakes for gay people." You know what, Gilbert? I'm going to do that right out of Studio 2 here in Manhattan right now. That's right. That's right. You will never, ever, ever, all of you gay people out there, every single one of you listening to my voice right now,
yes.
I am telling you, yes, call me inflammatory, call me a homo hater or something. Call me... You call me whatever you want, but I'm putting a sign out in front of HTLA at Radio 1. No wedding cakes for gay people. Nope. No way. Quote, that's the kind of discrimination that we've said is not acceptable in America, Essex says. The Supreme Court passed up its first chance to hear a similar case in 2014, 8 years after Elaine Huguenin and her husband, Jonathan, told a lesbian couple that their Albuquerque photo studio only worked, quote, traditional weddings. What's wrong with that? If that's what you specialize in...
Yes.
You know what? So the war photographer that only shoots dead people. Okay. Oh, well, that photographer is discriminating because he doesn't shoot live people. No, bitch. He makes his money off dead people. Well, the Huguenin's petition to the Supreme Court was based on their freedom of speech and expression, which they interpreted as the right to decide what messages their photography conveys. That's the same people cited by Phillips and others around the country. The former owners of Sweet Cakes by Melissa Bakery in Gresham, Oregon, were ordered this month to pay $135,000 to a lesbian couple for emotional suffering after being refused a goddamn wedding cake. How the hell do you show that in the court?
Yes.
Well, Your Honor, my clients were clearly hurt to the tune of $135,000 because they were denied this little product. And yes, I know, my lawyer sounds eerily like my John Kerry. I have no comment at this time. Well, Arlene's Flowers of Richland, Washington, was sued for refusing to create floral arrangements for a gay customer's wedding. The florist lost and has asked the state Supreme Court to hear its appeal. It was also fined $186,000. Yeah. Hands On Originals, a Christian outfitter in Lexington, Kentucky, was sued for refusing to print T-shirts for a local gay pride festival. What gay asshole? What gay asshole would go to a Christian T-shirt shop?
Yes.
And order heathen shirts? Yes, the County Human Rights Commission ruled against its owner, Blaine Adamson, but a county court this year reversed that decision. Kentucky has no anti-discrimination law. Yes, at least in Kentucky, you're still free to choose. Yeah. Well, Liberty Ridge Farm, a working farm in Shagatoke, New York, was sued after Robert and Cynthia Gifford refused to host a lesbian couple's wedding on their farm. State Division of Human Rights ruled against the couple, and the case is now before an appellate court in Albany. These all lead to some hard questions. The Supreme Court's ruling last month states it cannot deny marriage licenses to same-sex couples, and it's motivated both sides to seek additional protections from the state legislatures. The author of that opinion, Justice Anthony Kennedy, sees nothing wrong with religious believers seeking protection. It must be emphasized that religions and those who adhere to religious doctrine may continue to advocate with utmost sincere conviction that by divine precepts, same-sex marriage should not be condoned, Kennedy wrote. Chief Justice John Roberts and the dissenting justices said those words will be of little comfort when someone with a religious objection pushes up against the Supreme Court's edict. Hard questions arise when people of faith exercise religion in ways that may be seen to conflict with the new right to same-sex marriage, Roberts wrote. Unfortunately, people of faith could take no comfort in the treatment they receive from the majority. One comfort, perhaps, is the motivation the court's decision lends to the effort to secure religious exclusions. Kena Gonzalez, director of the State and Local Affairs for the Conservative Family Research Council, said the ruling clearly provides an increased sense of urgency to protect conscious protections on marriage, just like we do on other contentious social issues like, oh yes, bring it up, you bitch, abortion. Well, in Congress, Senator Mike Lee of Utah and Rep. Raul Labrador of Ohio. Why the hell would you have a last name of Labrador in Ohio? Well, both Republicans are sponsoring measures aimed at protecting individuals and business opposed to same-sex marriage. Thus far, the bills are far short of claiming majority support. And in the days since the High Court's decision, some state officials have taken steps to protect religious objectors. Kansas Governor Sam Brownback was the first, blocking the state government from penalizing religious groups that refuse to perform or recognize same-sex marriages. On the flip side, gay rights groups now vow a major push to win non-discrimination laws in states that do not have them. Their latest conquest came earlier this year in Utah, although the law aimed at employment and housing policies stopped short of affecting commercial businesses. The battle is likely to continue for years to come. It was never about the cake, Charlie Craig's mother, Deborah Munn, wrote on an ACLU blog site. It was about my son being treated like a lesser person. Really, that's what it's all about. We're all equal. No, we're not. You know what? I've put this to everybody before,
yes,
and I'm going to put it to everybody again.
Yes.
Did we all grow up with that silver spoon in our mouths? Did we? Are we all Harvard kids? Yeah. Really? Yeah, did we all graduate Harvard or Yale? Did we all, go out on the vacations in the summertime on the 195-foot yacht? Did we, did we learn to play polo at 8 years old? No. No, the goddamn answer is no. But is that to say that nobody did?
Yes.
Right. Absolutely. We'll start off right here with John Kerry's daughter, Kenna. Right, but none of us got that.
Yes.
Right. So, right there, Where's equality? It's not. Or one up you. Better still this.
Yes.
Did we all grow up in a crack house? All right. Well, I did, but okay. But this is what I'm saying.
Yes.
This is why, try as you might, idiots of all different persuasions fighting for your right to do whatever the hell. There is no equality. If there was equality, we'd all be exactly the same. We'd be hatched out of little cylinders. It would be the Matrix. And I hate to break it to you. I hate to, pop Morpheus's little bubble.
Yes.
But we're not, just in these little pods getting fed oxygen and nutrients and the Matrix and piss off. So, finally, I feel that the United States Constitution guarantees my freedom of religion, freedom of speech. Philip says it doesn't say except for when you open your business. It's not just regulated to Sunday morning. Yeah. And I don't know who can argue with that. He's right.
Yes.
Or Saturday or whenever the hell the Jews do their canting thing. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, yes, the big anti-smoking organization launching a tour to end teen tobacco abuse. Yes, it is. That's right. Teen smoking rates are at a low, according to the 2014 University of Michigan press release out of a national survey of 40,000 to 50,000 teens in the 8th, 10th, and 12th grades. Only 8% reported cigarette use in 2014, down 28% from 1997. Lying is also up 28%. That's right. With that statistic in mind, many people and companies are optimistic about ending teen smoking. That's exactly what Truth, a campaign funded by the American Legacy Foundation, is trying to accomplish with two crews of tour riders at their disposal. The campaign is the longest running and most successful youth smoking prevention program in the country. The nationwide campaign tours from June to September, stopping at cities all around the U.S., of course, to promote its cause and to raise awareness about the impact of cigarette smoking. It has been proven successful with more of a network of more than 43,000 finishers and a viral video called Left Swipe Dat. Yo, 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 left swipe that, yo. Yeah, okay. Featuring celebrities advocating against tobacco usage, the campaign has made a noticeable impact. A large component of the campaign is its summer tour, quote, tour riders, a group of 20-somethings that travel to different venues from theme parks to festivals and concerts. And their aim is to connect with teens and give them facts about tobacco industry and smoking in general. Nicole Stevens, a recent graduate of the University of San Francisco, is part of the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Mayhem Festival tour rider crew. Geez, I don't know. I kind of think they might have made a mistake on the branding there.
Yes.
Do you really want to take away one addiction with teens by promoting monster drinks? Oh, yeah, kids, you don't get half the jack up from cigarettes that you get from Monster Extreme. Well, that touring festival, which features hard rock and heavy metal performers, has given Steven... Wait a minute. Whoa, stop the bus.
Yes.
Hard rock and heavy metal promoters. Geez, wasn't it back in the mid to late 70s? That was the devil's music. Well, apparently the devil's music is good now.
Yes.
Yes. Given the chance to connect with those young people around the country, I've always wanted to be part of something that will have a lasting impact on the world after I'm gone. Being part of the Truth Tour and spreading the message of the campaign does just that, Stephen says. I'm always amazed by how open people are with sharing personal stories about how tobacco has impacted their lives. Hopping to enact change... or not hopping. I'm not a frickin' bunny. What the... hoping, of course, yes, to enact change. The tour riders spend their days on the road doing a variety of things. They have one-on-one conversations with people, host larger group games and competitions, engage crowds, and push the campaign's cause out on a mass scale. With the launch of the Finish It campaign last August, which reached more than 1.7 million teens nationwide, the campaign hopes to spread its message to as many people as possible by creating dialogue about smoking. I've been surprised at how open teens are to talking about cigarettes and their experiences with tobacco, Stevens says. Every day when I'm doing the one-on-ones, we get thanked for being there by someone who has lost someone to a tobacco-related disease. And for Stevens, the campaign is personal. A smoking-related disease prevented her from meeting her grandfather. Yeah, it had nothing to do with, her grandfather being 100. No. Yeah. Stephen says, every day I'm doing one-on-ones. We get thanked for being there by someone who's lost someone. Yes, by meeting her grandfather. Despite her loss, she remains optimistic about the future of smoking in America. She believes that the younger generation has the power to finish it for good. Yes. Well, my hope is that while on tour this summer, I can make positive impressions on my teens by sharing the facts about tobacco with them, she says. The campaign and its mission are easy to get on board with. I know that collectively our generation has the power to end tobacco for good. If you do that, where's my right to have a cigarette? Oh, that's it. Die. Yeah, you're pushing the wrong buttons now, chickie.
Yes.
That's right. Oh, let's see, we got Shillbilly Internet Radio at the Spreaker.com, a live chat room. He's in there serving it up to all the bitches.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course he's going on about Canada's Prime Minister Stephen Harper. Yes, the prick's been in office for 35 bloody years. Seriously.
Yes.
I don't know. When he got in, I'm like, okay, well, a couple of years, he'll be gone.
Yes.
Yeah, what was it, like 22, 25 bloody years later, he's still there? What the? I'm serious. Like, he was there for 18 years when I left Canada.
Yes.
I'm like, who the hell? Why does he just won't die? Somebody... God, well, actually, to be fair, I'm gonna be fair here. America's politicians are like, I don't know, what are they like in comparison to Canadian ones? They're kind of like Pamela Anderson. They're kind of like Pamela Anderson in that they look really good on the outside. Well, except for Hillary. Oh, well, and Bernie Sanders. And, okay, scratch that. Not Pamela Anderson. No. I don't know. I don't know. They present power, I guess, a little more accurately.
Yes.
Canadian
Radio 1
politicians.
Yes.
They're these wishy-washy little, I don't know, baby things. They're really snooty when things are going bad, and they're but there was one ballsy leader, of course, Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau. What are you laughing about, you little idiot? No, he was good. He was like the only good one the country has ever had.
Yes.
Yeah, ever. Well, bottom line is I'm not going to even attempt to dissect that crap. No. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, oh, look at that. Look at the time. Yeah, 2 hours. Well, we got to get going, gang. It's been a hell of a fun day. Thank you, of course, to the one, the only Devlon Crawford, Sharon Hundley Chesley, the intern, Phil and his sister with the sweet ass. Yes. All you listeners out there, iHeart, iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, Podcast One, Universal Radio, the list goes on. Thank you. And, of course, thank you. Louis, are you still awake?
Mr. T would be proud of you.
Yes. I'm all about the Mr. T, too, so thank you for being here, sir.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, make sure you make that mistake tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Gilbert, thank you very much, sir.
Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, on Twitter, and on Instagram.
Yes, we're all there, but I'm not rattling off all that crap. No. Hey, here's an idea. Use your iPads or your tablets or your computers and browsers and, I don't know, use a search engine. Yes, we're on all those places. Go look us up. Find us. Follow us. You owe it to yourself. Thank you for being here, Gilbert. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
So emphatic. I want to thank listener, Shillbilly Internet Radio, all the folks in the live chat room today for hanging out with us. It's been a great day. Glad we entertained, and tomorrow we're sure to stain. Yeah. We should get some homosexual jokes.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to yeah, there he is. Yeah, just humping his way into a Thursday. That's right. Oh, hey, it's 5 p.m. Eastern in the beautiful, beautiful city of New York right now. 84 degrees, sunny skies, and I'm here. That's right. It is the Thursday Double, your coffee and cigarettes on HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. And, of course, yours truly here, CJ the Crashman Taylor in Studio 2 live right now. I'm here. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. Of course, we've got the... Well, yeah. I'm sorry. People are waving things at me, and it's not. They're not naked titties, so it confuses me. Damn it. Yeah. Well, how y'all doing today, world, on this lovely Thursday, the 23rd of July, 2015? I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. No, wait, no, you didn't. Anyway, what's on the damn show? Well, today on the Thursday Double, you think your summer weather is bad? Just too damned hot? Well, summer is so bad in Canada that cops are arresting the weathermen. Not kidding. This, of course, while base jumpers die in Turkey. It's making the headlines. Yeah. 2 Oklahoma teens are also being held in a fatal stabbing of 5 of their family members. And stand down, you PC racism proponents. Yes, today, the prosecutor says, no sign of homicide in the Sandra Bland autopsy, so suck it. Other stories we're following today include a new report that says 1 in 4 urban roads in the USA are damaged, costing motorists up to $1,000 a year. And the VA has 41,500 unfilled medical jobs, forcing vets into costly private care. It's so great that our government keeps our veterans top priority, isn't it? Oh, yes, all that and so much more today. So, hey, come on in and grab yourself a cup, have a seat, and light one up, gang. It's coffee time. Yes, it is coffee time. That's right. The theme song, of course, Kennedy's song on HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk for coffee and cigarettes. Again, the 23rd of July, 2015, 84 degrees, Central Park right now, sunny skies. It's just too awesome for words. Well, in the booth today, pushing the buttons for us, making the show go, is the well-casted and beautiful, beautiful Jenny McCartney, former social media goddess herself, pushing those buttons, making us go. And of course, she's doing that today on the PreSonus 2442 digital broadcast mixer that we use here at Studio 2 in Manhattan. And, well, that was finally furnished by the folks at PreSonus.com. That's right, for anything in audio, digital or analog. Yeah, if you're looking for the good gear, go to PreSonus.com. Yeah. Also, this show is brought to you, of course, every day by the fine folks at Tim Hortons, New York City, now with those 8 fine locations in the city to serve all of your coffee and baked goods needs. That's right. You'll never find video cameras in their bathrooms. Tim Hortons, always fresh. Yeah. So moving along today, yeah, quite the stories we're following today. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah. There you go. How about that coffee? I'm enjoying my Timmy's dark roast today. It's so pleasing to the tongue. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, hey, I don't do this show by myself. No, I don't. And it's not just Jenny making weird voice noises. No, we actually have guests/co-hosts. Of course, the first of those two comes to us live from the beautiful Mill Bay Film and Television Studios in downtown Mill Bay, British Columbia, Canada. Yes, the one, the only Louis Lawless, Academy Award director, film director, television director, nominations up the butt, but never won. He's live via satellite today because that's how he likes us to say it, even though he's just on the damn phone.
We're 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
I know, but that's good because that means you're attainable. I can get you. It's a good thing.
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
Okay, well, not really that good of a thing.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, it's okay. You can, ask maybe off the air. When we're not, live in front of millions of fine folks.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Is that the advice for the day? I guess, eh?
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
I really don't. I'm going to advise against it today. She's, ever since the cast has been put on there, I don't know, she's a little bit deficient in certain regions, so I maybe wouldn't.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
Or you could just go ahead and do that. And, of course, that little wheezy rascal. That's right. Yes, we've got Wheezy from Sanford & Son. Yeah. Of course, that can be the one, the only.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, very... You'll have to excuse him today. He's on helium.
Yes.
Treating a brain injury he received, 40 years ago? Yeah. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, yes, joining us today from his lovely home. No, where the hell are you? Are you? Well, I mean, more importantly, what are you and are you ready?
What the fuck?
Well, it's a fair question. Come on.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it is the one, the only Gilbert Godfrey, of course, from about 8 blocks down the street here in downtown Manhattan from HTLA Studio 2. And,
yes.
He won't come in because, that's walking. And,
yes.
Heaven forbid you actually do the show from here. But we wouldn't ever ask that of you. We just wouldn't.
Yes.
No, because you're Jewish. And that wouldn't be proper. Yeah. So, moving on today, of course. Thank you, of course, Gilbert, for being here again today.
Yes.
And Louis as well. Appreciate you being here.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, I'm glad you're just continuing to just be human.
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
I imagine it did. Yeah. 2015, 2009, that's 6 years ago. Yeah. Are you working on anything new, Louis? The word is, I heard from one of the PAs on the crew there up in Canada there in Lake Cowichan, Susie Potts. She told me that you were in the works to do a brand new film. Now, I know you did the RCMP cover-up exposed thing. I know you did that, but that didn't go anywhere. But did you got anything else in the works right now, Louis?
Which woman are you married to or living with now?
Can you hear me, Louis?
He called me, and he called me. He kept calling me, and I wouldn't answer the phone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, that must be the title of the new film. Yeah.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. We got lots of those to do today for sure, and we're just glad you're here again. Thank you.
That was a mistake on my part.
Okay, all right. I can see that the conversation seems to be kind of circular.
Yes.
Right. So I'll leave that there, and I guess move along, little doggy.
Yes.
Huh? Without the finger up the ass, as Sharon would put it. Yeah. Well, moving along today, what is the first story up for bids on the news story is just so wrong? How about Canada? Let's get in some Canada news.
Yes.
You know, we rarely ever, if ever, get into any Canada news, and I know it's happening. I don't know why we're not getting it here. Oh, wait, right. None of it matters. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Well, we do have some Canada news today, and man, is it it's extreme.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell is going on in Canada?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, of course, this would be the land where, of course, HTLA's meteorologist Frankie McDonald is from. Yes, it gives a whole new meaning to the concept of an Amber Alert. That's right. Fed-up police in Canada's Newfoundland and Labrador have become so desperate about the lack of good weather in recent weeks that they have issued a plea to locate the missing season. Yes, the hunt is apparently on for summer, that period of hot weather fueled by that bright amber-colored orb, otherwise known as the sun. Yeah. Summer was last seen in early August of 2014, said a pitiful press release from the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary, RNC. When last seen, summer was described as being between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius, 68 to 86 Fahrenheit, blue skies with a bright and warm source of light in the sky. There have been sporadic sightings of this bright object, but these sightings have been rare since May of 2015. Local meteorologist Ryan Snodden of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation even launched a competition asking residents to come up with a new name for July, explaining on his blog that it had been the worst summer in more than 20 years. Yeah. Yes, well, this July is not only shaping up to be the coldest since 1993, it's very likely an amazing run of 21 straight years where the average July high was 20 degrees or warmer. And that stat is even more impressive when you look back between 1942 to 1993 and find that the previous long trend of 20 degree or warmer was 4 years in a row. But Snowden's weather geeky excitement, well, cannot hide the fact that he and fellow prognosticator Eddie Shear of NTV are taking much of the blame for the lousy conditions. In late June, Snowden predicted sunny weather for July, a month that so far has delivered a diet of nothing but rain, drizzle, and fog in the province, which is situated in the far east of the country. But I don't get that either because, you know, we're in the far east of this country and it's just a little bit south of that country.
Yes.
You know, well, I mean, it's been kind of, you know, I would say on the whole cooler than normal.
Yes.
Yeah. But, you know, what was it, like 90 degrees 3 days ago? Where the hell did that go, you know? Well, I guess that's not what I mean.
Yes.
You know, what I mean is, you know, if we're here and
yes.
you know, it's like 90 degrees here, how come, like, what is it, 115 miles or 140 miles or something in there north? It's like minus 20 and nasty? Well, I don't get it. Well, an RNC officer even came by the CBC and NTV stations in the provincial capital, St. John's, to take a woeful weatherman into custody, said police spokeswoman Constable Stephen Kernew. Oh, okay, not a spokeswoman, Stephen Kernew. No. Well, it was somewhat tongue-in-cheek. After he arrested Snowden, he being charged with impersonating a meteorologist.
Yes.
Failing to provide the essentials of summer, that being sunshine, good forecast, and blue skies. We also have him on trafficking of RDF.
Yeah.
I wonder. You know what? I think I can get Frankie Well, I might not be able to get him fired.
Yes.
I think I could use these charges to get him arrested and deported. I think that's a good idea.
Yes.
Oh, man. I don't care if we have, Shillbilly Radio there come in and, get all drunk and shit, and he's got food in his beard and stuff. And, I don't even care if we have him come in and, vomit some weather forecasts.
Yes.
That would be better than what we have. Well, NTV, Kernew had similar comments about Scheer, adding, however, that the consequences could be more dire, with Eddie being from the United States. Oh, blame us, yeah. Oh, he's from the U.S. He's a goddamn crack addict. Yes, he warned he could possibly be forcing deportation. Unfortunately, due to the weather, it could be 2 weeks before he would get a flight out of St. John's Airport. Yeah. Well, hey, that's something we could do.
Yes.
Maybe we could do, a prisoner exchange with Eddie and Frankie. Oh, folks in the Spreaker.com live chat room.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't like that image of Shillbilly with food in the beard. Well, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police apparently don't have anything frickin' better to do. Yes, they actually put out a media release about this yesterday, and wow, it's like 4.5 paragraphs. It's like just as big as it was when it was the Ottawa shootings happened. Yeah. Well, like I always say to everybody, just move to British Columbia.
Yes.
Yeah. Then, of course, you'll have nothing but rain in Vancouver. And well, the RNC are taking the matter very seriously. It reads, quote, an investigative team has been assembled. The chief of police, William Janes, has also been taking an active role in this file, and it's traveling abroad in an effort to locate Summer. Officers are looking to speak with 2 individuals who are persons of interest in the case. These individuals have been identified as 30-year-old Eddie Scheer and 32-year-old Ryden Snodden. Success in locating these individuals have been significantly hampered by Summer's main enemies, which are rain, drizzle, and fog. Well, RCMP, you think you've got troubles there. If you come to New York City, there's gangsters called rain, drizzle, and fog. And I can tell you, they're a whole lot more dangerous than the idiots you're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, anyone who has any information pertaining to the whereabouts of Summer, or if you just want to be an asshole and call up the RCMP and prank the suckers, yes, you can call them direct at 729-8000 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS.
Yes.
Well, Chrissy Holmes, a CBC reporter who is subbing for Snodden, whose wife actually gave birth to their first child an hour or so after his arrest, told us that summer has been particularly drab. We're not exactly known for our good weather, she said, but it's usually better than this. Ideal highs are in the mid-20s, about 75 Fahrenheit. Normally, sun comes out a little bit more. Newfoundlanders crave their short summer because the winter is long, damp, and frigid. Oh, yeah, cry me a river. It was snowing here on May 1st. Come on. God damn it. Newfoundlanders crave their short summer because the winter is so long, damp, and frigid. St. John's is the foggiest city in the world, says Holmes, who is a native of the province, not a native looking for a job, eh? Oh, hey, how's it going? You got a smoke, eh? Well, air temperatures in January and February are usually about -6 or 7, about 18 Fahrenheit, says Constable Kernew. But it feels much colder because our air is so damp. Ooh, breakout, oh my God, urgent update. Oh yeah. It appears now that Newfoundland's misery may be coming to an end. At about 11 a.m. Eastern Thursday, Scheer tweeted that the sun had come out and that temperatures were beginning to climb. Hallelujah! Oh, there we go. That's so damn good, isn't it? Well, however, Constable Curnew told us at noon that the break in the weather could well be short-lived. It's partly cloudy right now, he said, adding to local wags on social media had attributed to the improved conditions to the deletions of Snowden and Scheer. Well, they're saying that the fact that we locked up the meteorologist led to the more moderate weather, Curnew said. It's now 18 degrees Celsius, 64 Fahrenheit, he added somewhat excitedly. God, cops in Canada got to find work. Well, moving on today. Right. Absolutely. Okay, I'm not moving on today. No, I got to piss around and talk with you idiots for about 60 seconds until it's time for a commercial. Yeah. So, Louie, what's new with you? You break any laws lately?
I nearly got kicked out of a theater. I can't remember what I saw about 2 weeks ago because I was booing and screaming.
Yeah, that'll work. That's good. That's good. Did the RCMP come, or were you like downgraded to like fog? Well, in any case, Louie, it's like I say, if you're not out there pushing the envelope, well, nobody's going to push back.
Yes.
But, what else?
And now I have to bring up that piece of trivia that everyone feels like they're telling people that they don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be good. Sure. Yeah, we got about 10, 12 seconds left. Go for it. Just give us the deal. What is it?
Did you ever see the Charlie's Angels episode with Sammy Davis Jr.?
Wow. Did you ever see any other Charlie episode? What? Man, it's always, Sammy Davis Jr. with you. What the hell? What the...
I'm the most talented guy in this room.
Oh, that's why you say that. You're trying to do an impression of him. Oh. Okay, babe. I got your impressions right here, baby. Well, listen, cats. Don't you be going away anywhere, because when we come back, babies, we got the base jumpers dying in Turkey. That's right. So fasten your seatbelts, hold on your butts. Of course, when we come back, Brock Favors is dying in the chopper. And we go once again to that idiot from Newfoundland with the weather, Frankie McDonald. Back in 2, guys.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions? Abundant with rich, fertile soil. What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain. Define that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
And another time, you were going to buy drugs from your pusher, and you were like a block away, and then somebody walked up to your pusher first and shot your pusher.
Yeah, there you go. Just like that. But, you know, the beauty.
Hey,
You're just one crazy whacking dude. You know that? Yeah. Yeah.
I remember being on your radio show in Chicago.
Ah, yeah, the good old days.
Yeah, and I remember we hung out afterwards and had a wild time.
Well, I mean, why not? That's exactly what we do, man.
And I remember, too, when we were in the alleyway, pants zipped up, there was this one, sleazy-looking guy who walked by.
Yeah, George Takei.
Who was staring at us.
Yeah.
And you turned around, and he was a what? What's your problem? And you said like, you don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's right. But what do you? Seriously, dude, what do you expect? Come on. Well, hey, welcome back to the big show today, of course. Your Thursday double. Yes, the double shot of HTLA's coffee and cigarettes with your man in the can. I don't know. Maybe I should... I know what I'll do. I know.
Yes.
Yeah. I said that we had George Takei in the alley with us that night.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do a George Takei segment. I'll do the whole segment in George Takei. Hello, I'm George Takei, and you're listening to Coffee and Cigarettes. Oh my! Brad and I like butt fucking. Oh, my.
Fucking time. Move on.
Oh, fine. You don't like the damn impression? Do a better one, jerk. Oh, my.
Yes.
Come on, Gilbert, what did you think?
Well, it's not awful, but just not good.
No? Yeah. Well, that's fine. I'm not going to lose any sleep over, not being able to perfectly impersonate a ancient Japanese homosexual man. No. and seriously, gang, like, what the hell? Like,
Yes.
He was the helmsman on a popular show in the 60s. I've got to do Shatner. Okay, or not. Maybe,
Yeah.
No? Okay. Whatever. I'll just leave the impressions and impersonations and whatnot to you, Gilbert.
Yes.
You're truly the master, especially your oh, man, the list goes on. Jerry Lewis, Hervé Villachez, yes. Scent of a Woman, yes. Give us a little short version of Scent of a Woman. Come on.
I'm in bed.
Yeah.
I love to dance the tango.
Oh, my. Oh, wow. You know what? I just realized something.
Yes.
George Takei voice is eerily like Monsanto. Gives helmsman new meaning.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right. We got a listener in the where the Christ are they? I don't know. I'm just stretching it out so I don't have to bring the damn weather. No, and if any of you folks are listening on any of the billions and billions of platforms, all about the planets. No, if you're listening, to us on Stitcher.
Yes.
What is it? iHeart,
yes.
iTunes,
yes.
Podcast One,
yes.
Universal Radio.
Yes.
There's more. I just can't remember them all. But anyway, if you're listening to us on any of those, you owe it to yourself every day. 5 p.m. Eastern, we're on. Seems that we're going for 2 bloody hours every day these days. So, you've got more than enough time to get here, and no freaking excuse. I'm giving up the George Takei for you. Come on, get over here. But yeah, you can join in the Spreaker.com. It's a little play on speaker, I guess, that they... I don't know. It's owned by a couple of Italian dudes, and they don't know anything, so... But, boy, they sure get the listens on their shows when they put out another show about, hello, how to podcast. Yes, Francesco, I don't know, Villichez or something?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Lewis! There, how do you like it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so if you're anywhere, get over to Spreaker.com. That's the address there.
Yes.
And just search up HTLA Radio 1, get on in there and join the all-stars of Spreaker.
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Is that what the... Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's quite a few out there that I love. Well, of course, at 2 a.m. on my computer and under my desk. But anyway, going to move on with the rest of the show because I've got a hell of a long one.
Yes.
And, if I don't get to all the stories that we've written in the description, somebody will sue us. Oh, yeah, laugh it up, jerk. You're just a subcontractor.
Yes.
Yeah.
God. $88,000 a year they make, approximately average, 80s, let's say. And there's 1,000, that's $88 million a year that we're paying as taxpayers.
Well, no, Louis, because it's all funded by themselves, and I think who he's talking about, of course, is the people who put out shows on Spreaker.
Yes.
And if they told you they're making $88,000 a year, yeah, no. Well, moving on today, got to do some shout-outs, of course, and some likes and thank yous, of course. Listener, of course, in the HTLA Spreaker.com chat room, of course. Sharon Chesley, of course, our girl from Texas who, well, when she has friends over, she's all of a sudden too busy for us, so... And I don't know, Devlon Crawford, she may have actually crashed while driving in yesterday's show. She's not here. If we get any updates, of course, if they've found her, with some vulture pecking out her eyes or something, or if her children, phone me, 3 or 4 in the morning crying, I'll be sure to let you all know because it's important to us. So, God damn it, it's important to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Also want to do some shout-outs to other HTLA supporters and listeners today. The one, the only JJ McCartney of Nightside Radio Solutions. Yes. Oh, and what else too? Lenny Borges. Yes, Lenny Borges Designs. Make sure you go and buy some of her lovely clothing because... No, don't laugh, you little worm, because I'm telling you right now, if your wife Dara actually saw what Lenny puts out, she'd be spending more than $6 a day. So you just watch yourself, or, I don't know, maybe I'll just mention it to her.
Yes.
Yeah, see? Smarten up. Calm down.
Yes.
Also, Monica Randall Wagner, yes, she's a listener from a long time ago. She's loving the show today. Also, Alan Soriano, yes, the one, the only Alan Wayne of Spreaker fame.
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Well, Alan, yeah, kind of is that way, but... You know, I recently refriended him on Facebook again.
Yes.
Trying to, let him know that although he was a scum-sucking little maggot that used to just do nothing but belittle me and put my frickin' show and shit down. I'm being the bigger man. And I'm like, okay, well, you're a little effing a-hole. All right. You're a little slime-sucking pig. But you know what? You send me a friend request on Facebook again after I blocked you the first time, so now you got a new account.
Yes.
I thought to myself, Gilbert, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to be the bigger man.
Yes.
I'm going to be the benevolent little Irish backstabbing prick that I really am.
Yes.
So I accepted that friend request 2 or 3 days ago.
Yes.
And you know what the little bitch is doing?
Yes.
Yeah? He's not only liking on the coffee and cigarettes ads every day on Facebook.
Yes.
He's also sharing them on his page. So as long as he's going to be my little bitch, I will continue to utilize that skillfully.
Yes.
Also, the one, the only Tony Novo, and former U.S. Ranger veteran Jesse Watson, a big fan of the show.
Yes.
And so you better not piss him off.
Yes.
No, I'm not. He will kill you in your. What? No, he'll kill you standing up in a store in broad daylight, and nobody will see him. And finally, the one, the only big man himself, David Capers, yes, from the Razor Blade Express.
Yes.
Woo-woo. Actually, I actually did that logo for him.
Yes.
Yeah, that nice train and shit. You should have seen the crap he had before that. Oh, my God. Okay, well, I've done all the shout-outs I can think of.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. No, there's one more. Shout-outs to George Takei.
Yes.
How many different families do you have?
Way to go, Louie. Bring that up. Yes. Let's talk about my families for at least another hour so we do not have to get to that weather. Yes. Oh, Jenny is shaking the finger at me. Okay, well, okay. Welcome back to the show after, 20 more minutes? Is it commercial time again?
Break for a commercial.
Yeah. I think we should. No, it is time for coffee and cigarettes to bring you today's traffic report, of course, from our NAACP obligation. Yes, Brock Favors in HTLA Chopper 1. He's got the traffic for us today. Brock, take it away.
Hello, everybody out there. This is Brock Favors with traffic on the ones. Chad Armstrong is out sick today, so I am filling in for my usual land reports, and I'm up here at the chopper. But I gotta tell you guys, I am loving the view. Oh my God! Oh! No! Stop! Oh! Whew! All right. Well, we are over the 10, and it's massively clogged down there like a pint of maple syrup on a cool November morning. And we do. Oh! Goddamn! We're gonna die in this mother. Oh my God! Woo! Okay. Okay, I am very sorry, folks. It's a little bit of a bumpy ride up here. We are now approaching the 405, where the left lane is blocked by a mattress. So somebody is going to be doing a little return to IKEA later today. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, please! Oh, goddamn! machine right now! Oh, no, black people ain't meant to be in the sky! We ain't meant to be in the sky, man! Oh, mama, help me, mother. Oh, mama! With a 4 or 5 is up right now, ain't nobody going down this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, folks. I'm very sorry, but I'm losing my up here.
Actually, you have every right to. We're about to crash.
Oh, help me!
Once again, HTLA Radio 1 New York would like to offer our condolences to the Favors family. Well, you'll have to excuse me. I was caught up in the chat room of doom. Yes. Of course, they're talking about, well, really intellectual points over there right now. It's penis sizes. So, once again, if you'd like to get in on the discussion, of course, head on over to Spreaker.com, type in HTLA Radio 1, and you'll get right into that dick. Oh, and Sharon is offering pole dances on yours.
Yes.
There you go.
Always with a female having a relationship, married or single, it's always better that they do the leaving. If you do the leaving, it makes that lingering thing. You know what I mean?
Yes, and we wouldn't want to linger now, would we? I'm George Takei, and I love Brad's ass.
That was a mistake on my part.
Oh, really? Oh my, he didn't tell me about you.
Yes.
Oh, what the hell? Oh, yeah, stories, base jumping. Yeah. Right. Okay, well, moving on today, of course, in the headlines, yes, that's right. Well, we don't normally bring you sports on this show.
Yes.
But technically, apparently, word on the street is this is indeed a sports news story.
Yeah.
Apparently. The base jumper's death in Turkey is sport's third superstar fatality in just 2 months. Yeah. An American base jumper died while jumping in Turkey this week, the extreme sport's third superstar fatality this year. Ian Flanders died Tuesday after leaping from a cable car 900 feet above a gorge, says Matthew Blank, a friend of Flanders who was with him in Turkey. I wonder if they'll bury him in Flanders Fields. Oh, no, wrong Flanders. Never mind. Never mind. Well, the lines of his parachute became entangled in his legs, and a search... Did they not tell him to put the parachute on his back? Yeah, the parachute got tangled up in his legs, and a search and rescue team later pulled his body from the Karasu River. Blank told HTLA reports from Turkey's Dogan News Agency that Flanders died performing a wingsuit jump, and it was incorrect. He said Flanders had successfully completed a jump in a wingsuit at the site, but that the fatal jump involved was generally considered more safe. The standard parachute base jump. In May, the iconic extreme athlete, base jumper, Dean Potter, a self-described artist, climber, line walker, and human body flyer, and jumping partner Graham Hunt, all died while attempting wingsuit flights above Yosemite National Park with GoPro cameras. Wow, 3 guys die just for your free-ass entertainment on YouTube.
Yes.
Yep, there you go. And, I would say that the viewers are stupid.
Yes.
Yeah, no, the guys that make it are more stupid. Well, Flanders, 28, was attending the International Nature Sports Festival with other extreme athletes, including Americans Blank and Scotty Morgan. The Turkish TV released footage of the jump, although parts of it are obscured by shadows. If it's a sport where everyone knows everyone, this is it, and it's a call that you dread, Donald Schultz, a longtime friend of Flanders, told us. There's a dismay and sadness in the concern for his family. He said Flanders was not a daredevil, but a, quote, consummate professional whose priority was safety. Yes, that's why his parachute lines were tangled in his freaking legs. Well, after the wingsuit jump, Flanders spoke excitedly about the jump and the location. The wingsuit flight was great. It was a gorgeous flight, he said in a YouTube video. See, if guns kill people,
yes,
then I would submit to the court that YouTube kills people. He says, we landed in the river, which was actually kind of fun. It's a pretty technical jump, but overall it was a lot of fun. It was great, and this place is absolutely fantastic, he said. The festival was halted, of course, after Flanders' death. BASE is an acronym for a building, antenna, bridge, span, and earth. Base jumping is illegal in Yosemite. So they were breaking the frickin' law, too. Yes, it's illegal in Yosemite, where Potter, 43, and Hunt, 29, leaped to their death from Taft Point, a 7,500-foot rock cliff that provides expansive views of the park and such attractions as El Capitan and the Yosemite Falls. But the sign didn't mean it literally. Well, some base jumping includes wingsuits worn by wing nuts, which of course include a parachute-like material connecting the legs and running between the arms and legs, just like them flying squirrels. Yes, a small but complete parachute is usually released before landing, and when it's not, splat. Well, extreme athlete Chris McNamara, 36 years old, lists ex-wingsuit base jumper on his Twitter profile. He told us that most jumpers use wingsuits today, but that he dropped out of base jumping entirely in 2009, quoting, I didn't want to become splat. Yes, it was becoming less fun, he said, and more friends were dying.
Yes.
For a while, you could make the argument that people were pushing it too hard, but the fact is that you don't have to make a big mistake. People just die because they're doing it. Really, I think Frankie knows better than that. Yeah, I know. She's goddamn shaking her finger at me again.
Yes.
Fine. Okay, fine. You want it that way? Let's do it, baby. In fact, I've got it one better for those CEO corporates upstairs.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll play it twice today. Suck it. Oh, well, unfortunately,
yes,
I do have to bring you the weather report from HTLA meteorologist Frankie McDonald.
Yes.
That was a mistake on my part.
No, well, just don't hit the button then. Don't hit the button. So here he is, Frankie McDonald, with your Thursday weather. Coffee and cigarettes. Frankie, go ahead.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station, live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Powerful storm is heading for Vancouver, British Columbia on Saturday, September 28th, 2013.
Again?
It's going to be a period of real heavy rain and a strong winds along the coast of British Columbia. It's going to hit Vancouver, British Columbia, especially in greater Vancouver area because of the intense low-pressure system. It's going to be in west of British Columbia. It's going to bring a lot of rain in greater Vancouver area and Vancouver Island, the Sunshine Coast, and the western coast of British Columbia. It's going to bring up to 50-plus millimeters of rain in greater Vancouver and the Vancouver Island. People in Vancouver, be prepared. Have your rubber boots ready, have your raincoats ready, have your rain tools ready, because a lot of rain's heading for Vancouver on Saturday.
Oh, my.
It's going to affect Fraser Valley as well, such as Abbotsford, Chilliwack, and Hope. And greater Vancouver's getting a lot of rain. And the west coast of British Columbia as well.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's going to be a big wave on the shore and the beaches. There are a lot of Vancouver Island and the Sunshine Coast. stay away from the beaches. Don't go near the shore because a lot of rain is heading for Vancouver and the very strong winds.
Yeah.
And the winds going gust up to over 100 kilometers per hour, especially in along the coast of British Columbia.
And
Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Vancouver Island and Greater Vancouver.
Uh-huh.
And people of Vancouver, don't open up your umbrella, or your umbrella could get broken because winds will be too strong to support an umbrella. It's going to be periods of heavy rain in Greater Vancouver and Vancouver Island, and winds are going to be very strong.
It's about fucking time. Move on. Move
In
on.
Vancouver, British Columbia, and Victoria, British Columbia as well, because a lot of rain's heading for Vancouver. And the winds are going to be very strong along the coast of British Columbia.
Why couldn't that car hit him?
Especially people living in the coast of Vancouver Island as well.
Anything else?
Yes.
There will be big waves hitting along the coast. The power will go out. Have your flashlights ready.
Pizza,
Have
Chinese.
your extra batteries ready. Have your crank-up radio ready.
Oh, yeah.
Have your candles ready just in case the power goes out. Have your cell phones charged. Have your iPads charged. Have your iPods charged. Have your tablets charged. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food.
Uh-huh.
Because it's going to be very stormy conditions.
Okay.
From Saturday, September the 28th, 2013, until Monday, September 30th, 2013.
It's 2 years
in
ago.
Greater Vancouver, British Columbia. It's going to get a powerful storm. Best of luck to you, people in Vancouver.
Yeah, you too.
Be prepared for a lot of rain.
Oh, yeah.
And don't drive your car to the flood, or your car could get stalled. When you go for a walk, wear your rain gear, avoid the umbrellas, and avoid the puddles when you're driving a car. Don't walk in the puddles in Greater Vancouver area. Best luck to you. People in Greater Vancouver, be prepared for a lot of rain. Take care.
Oh, my. Oh, man, you know, if I could, I don't know, provide airfare or something and fly George up there to just F him. That's... Well, there you go. There's your HTLA Thursday Coffee and Cigarettes weather for, I don't know, what, something in 2013 or something? Yeah. Wow.
Oh, it's not awful, but just not good.
Oh, yeah? Really? Well, you know, here's a little story, Gilbert.
Yes.
That I'm going to tell you that it actually happened just a few minutes before the show today.
Yes.
CEO Kate Taylor there, in her infinite highness wisdom.
Yes.
She was actually in the studio here today, just before the show, about 15 minutes or so before.
Yes.
And of course, when we start up the stream on Spreaker.com, we always play, you know, a segment of the show yesterday, right?
Yes.
Well, we're doing that, and of course, she comes in here and she's talking about something, right? And
yes.
The show's going on, and of course, the Frankie report comes up there.
Yes.
And it comes up, and she's like, "Oh my God, you know, I just love this guy.
Yes.
I just." Oh, you know, and she actually said to me, I shit you not, this is my wife we're talking about, okay? She says to me, last night, she says, I had a dream about him. I'm not even freaking kidding you.
Yes.
No. No, she's dreaming about this guy. Is there some hunk factor I am missing? You know, is big head special needs hot?
I lived in Greenwich Village for a while when I first started out as an actor.
Okay, yes, Louis, you've told us that many times, and we do appreciate that, of course,
yes,
because it's important to know that back in, 1976, I think it was, that's when you... Well, we really got to move on with the show. I've done enough effing around,
yes,
but... Yeah, no, I'm not kidding you. That Kate Taylor story is true. Yeah.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Yeah, well, we're not actually on one yet.
Yeah.
But when we are, I'll let you know. Like, Louis, we're about to go and do a new story right now.
The music is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got to hear it.
Yeah, that was when we came back from commercial. Yeah. Well, moving on today, of course, we've got the story for you of 2 Oklahoma teens who are being held in a fatal stabbing of, 5 of their family. That's right. 2 teenage boys were taken into custody early Thursday after running from the back door of a house in eastern Oklahoma where 5 of their relatives were found stabbed to death, according to police. Sergeant Thomas Cooper of the Broken Arrow Police Department said officers had been summoned to the residence late Wednesday by an open 911 call in which no one spoke after dialing the emergency line. After tracing the call, police sent units to the home and the leafy bedroom community of Broken Arrow, southeast of Tulsa. Police said the teens, ages 60 and 18, were seen running from the house and were tracked down to a small park area behind the house. Because they were black, they were beaten. That's right. A 13-year-old girl inside was taken to the hospital in critical condition where she underwent surgery. She was later listed in serious condition, the Tulsa World reports. A 2-year-old child was also unharmed and placed in protective custody. Cooper said the victims of the 2 suspects were members of the same family and that all of them lived in that home. Yeah, so take note, my children. That's right, especially a certain 14-year-old daughter I have.
Yes.
You gotta watch it. People can snap, and it's not always, hardly ever racial. Yeah. Well, Broken Arrow, with a population of about 100,000 people, is on the Arkansas River just southeast of Tulsa, and the home is a well-established neighborhood surrounded on 3 sides by Indian Springs Golf and Country Club. Property records show the income sold. Property records show the income sold. Property records show the home sold. Yes, for $245,000 in 2007, and the Tulsa County tax records show it was among the larger and most expensive homes on the block. So why all this talk about how much the house was 2 years before Louis' last film? Oh, I know what it is. They're trying to insinuate that rich people have domestic violence, too.
Yes.
Well, Helen Hoagland, who has lived in the subdivision for 42 years, says the 2 parents and 5 children lived in the home. She said she would sometimes see the mother walking with several children. Hoagland said the children were homeschooled and that the mother kept them on a tight leash. Way to go, Mom. Yeah. Well, Hoagland said the children used to help decorate the neighborhood's entrance each Christmas, but they stopped taking part a few years ago, citing Hail Satan. We just have a great neighborhood, and this is just crazy. It's absolutely crazy, Hoagland said, as she watched police work the crime scene before dawn. And again, Jenny strikes. That's all the information and the end of the story. Yeah. But don't you worry, coffee and cigarettes goers. You know that tomorrow we'll have the rest of the story.
Yes.
And for all you folks, including that 14-year-old daughter in my home, that she came to me this morning.
Yes.
She came to me and she said, well, you know, you were trained as a police officer, right? And I said, yeah.
Yes.
And she says, "Well, just look at this video and this picture of this woman, Sandra Bland.
Yes.
That of course was taken when she was processed at the jailhouse.
Yes.
She says, look at this video. So I look at this video, and it's a cop car cam video,
yes.
and he pulls this car over, and he goes in, and he goes over, and he's talking to her, license, registration, ma'am, all that, the usual shite.
Yes.
Yes, the usual shite that everybody goes through, not just black people. And G says to me, she says, okay, now watch carefully.
Yes.
And I said, okay. And, of course, the police officer, for some reason, he saw something in the car that
yes.
That made him think there was something wrong, so he asked her to step out of the car.
Yes.
Well, this is where the stupid black person begins. Now, let me clarify something. In police academy,
yes.
right? When they train us, they don't train us. Oh, okay, when you get this call, it's a black man. You gotta, right? No. Or when you get this kind of call, it's a Hispanic. No, that needs his neck broke. No, they don't do that. No, what they do is they get you to address the laws
yes.
and enforcing the laws
yes.
and doing that to the general public, black, white, and yellow, and any other color.
Yes.
So anyway, the cop asked her to step out of the car. She says no.
Yes.
She starts swearing. Big mistake. And I have to wonder about these black people. Did they not see the YouTube video?
Yes.
And they should have, because it went viral.
Yes.
Did they not see the YouTube video? The Chris Rock, how to behave when you get pulled over by the police? Right? Rule number 1, Chris Rock says, never,
yes.
never,
yes.
never, ever swear at a police officer. Right? So she starts swearing and cussing up her face.
Yes.
Right? And that's it. He gets angry and pissed off, because why should he have to deal with that shit? Right? I mean, she's black and unarmed. It's game on. Well, anyway, long story short, he pulls her out,
yes.
and then he walks her off to the sidewalk, and
yes.
No. The G is like, oh, well, here, he walks her right off the camera view so you can't see him beating her. I said, no, little idiot.
Yes.
I said, no, they train you to take her out of the car and walk her over to the sidewalk so that she's off the freaking road and doesn't get hit by a car. Stupidity.
Yes.
So anyway, fine, whatever. He gets her off to the side of the road. It doesn't matter. You still see everything going on.
Yes.
You can't see them, but they're on the sidewalk, right?
Yes.
So they're talking, and you can hear everything because, of course, the camera's still rolling, right? And she's just going up one side of this guy and down this guy for nothing. And if you want my honest evaluation of the situation, she seemed way too nervous and hiding something. That's why she didn't want to get out of the car.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's within his rights, and he's doing his job. Oh, heaven forbid.
Yes.
He's doing his damn job. Well, long and the short is they booked her on a couple of things. And some of the stuff was, assaulting the officer. And, yeah. Well, because with this whole PC thing now, black people think they've got a right to just manhandle cops and it's all okay.
Yes.
If what's-his-face in Ferguson there can grab a cop's gun in his SUV, it's all good. Long and the short is she gets booked and processed.
Yes.
There's a mugshot taken of her.
Yes.
And the stories going around are that this guy just hauled her out of the car by her hair.
Yes.
For no reason. There was no reason to do that. He just hauled her out by her hair and threw her on the side of the road and busted her and all this other stuff. And, of course, the news media is like CNN is where I saw the video from. Of course, they edit out the cop calling for a matron or a female officer to come and actually do the arresting.
Yes.
because that would be frickin' procedure. Yeah. Yeah, they leave all that out handily, of course. Yes. And, next thing you know, the woman's dead, and all these people are taking all this information on the internet. They're putting it on their Tumblr blogs and reporting it like they're all of a sudden a magical frickin' reporter or something. Yeah, so they report, well, they've killed her in the jail cell. Right? Oh, they killed her in the jail cell, and it's another case of a white cop killing a black person. Right? Yeah, they do all that, and they actually say on some of these blogs that's going, and they're all going viral. They're getting record hits.
Yes.
Right? They're saying that the picture of her in her mugshot, right?
Yes.
They're saying that she's not actually alive there. She's dead. They just posed her. I am not even kidding you, my friend. That is what they are saying, right? And I'm like, and she wants my honest opinion about this, of course.
Yes.
So I tell her my honest opinion about it, and of course it's nothing to do with anything that her and her little scumbag friends are saying.
Yes.
Right? Great. So that's all well and good. So she freaks out at me, and I freak out back at her, and don't ask for my goddamn advice from my real world experience. Don't ask for it if you don't want to hear it.
Yes.
Right? Well, the reason that I've, gone on for almost 10 minutes now on this, what any average listener out there would think is a stupid little story. It's all leading up to the next story on the show, which is, quote, the prosecutor says today, quote, no sign of homicide in Sandra Bland autopsy. That's right. And, of course, Sharon her computer crashed, and she's back just in time because this is from Hampstead, Texas. We got to have the Texas music here. Oh, yeah. There we go, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, that makes me feel all hard and sexy. So turn that down there. There we go. Hampstead, Texas today. A Waller County prosecutor says today the details of an autopsy of Sandra Bland, who was found dead in her jail cell, show no evidence of a violent struggle or homicide. Go figure.
Yes.
Warren DePram also said that the autopsy showed that Bland had ingested a large amount of marijuana. Oh, that might be the reason for the stop. But that it was not clear how much or when, as it was mostly digested.
Yes.
The autopsy was conducted by Harris County Medical Examiner's Office after the 28-year-old black woman was found July 13th hanging by a trash bag. Yes, of course, she had been jailed after being stopped by a Texas Highway Patrol trooper for allegedly failing to signal a lane change. DePram, in a meeting with reporters today, said the autopsy details, such as the state of Bland's hands, eyes, mouth, and neck, showed absolutely no indication that she had engaged in any kind of a violent struggle now or indeed ever. At this particular time, I have not seen any evidence that this is a homicide, DePram said. Earlier, District Attorney Elton Mathis said that the autopsy was not flawed, but that additional testing might be needed to determine exactly what happened to Sandra Bland in her jail cell. The autopsy was actually very revealing and helpful, he said. The medical examiner ruled Bland's death a suicide by hanging. Bland's body had been transported to the Chicago area for her eventual funeral. The questions both from county officials and Bland's family in Chicago area remain. Bland's family had said she was out muling the drugs. And they're eager to start her new job, apparently, at Prairie View A&M University, about 50 miles northwest of Houston. Yes, not teaching. Oh, Christ, no. That would be her job in the janitorial department.
Yes.
Well, her death comes after nearly a year of heightened national security of police and their dealings with black suspects, especially those who have been killed by officers or die in police custody like, oh, none of them because Mosby was on crack. Well, Bland had been in jail for 3 days in the county of fewer than 50,000 residents. Her sister, Shantae Needham, said the family was trying to put together the bail money when they learned of Bland's death, according to the family's lawyer, Canon Lambert, hired by Reverend Al Sharpton. Well, the Naperville, Illinois native had been arrested July 10th and charged with assaulting a public service servant following a confrontation with the white officer who had stopped her for failing to signal a lane change. Bland became combative. Officer Trooper Brian Encina ordered her to put out her cigarette and get out of her car. At a point, almost no return, where you know you have a minor infraction and the motorist is not complying, says Brad Bradford, a Houston City councilman and former Houston City police chief. You have to make a decision. Are you going to escalate or de-escalate the situation? Neither appear to have thought about calming down the encounter, he said, after watching the dashboard camera video of the traffic stop that was released earlier this week. I thought her questions were reasonable questions, well, most of them, given that the context of the stop, Bradford said, but at the time, there's a duty to comply with the officer's instructions in the field. Threatening a motorist with a taser is not Houston police policy and appears to be a sign that the officer lost his composure or discovered something in the car which made him suspicious of mulin drugs. Well, after the Bland finally steps out of the vehicle, Encina orders her to the side of the road, as he's trained to.
Yes.
Where the confrontation continues off camera, but still audible, the officer said in an arrest affidavit that she swung her elbows at him and kicked his shin after being handcuffed. Bland can be heard protesting her arrest, repeatedly using expletives and calling the officer, okay, this is a quote, motherfucking pussy. She screamed at the officer and was about to break her wrist and complained that he knocked her head into the ground. See, she's already looking for a Ferguson suit right here.
Yes.
Anyone being stopped, even if the person believes he or she is being wrong, should have save the fighting for later, raising questions the next day, the next week, or asking for a redress, says Bradford, who is black. I'm still just at such a loss for words, honestly, at this whole process. Bland said in a voicemail to a friend, Lavon Mosley Leroy, shortly after her arrest, quote, how did switching lanes with no signal turn into all this, yo? Well, booking papers released Wednesday by the Wally County Sheriff's Office show that Bland was admitted to jail. She told the guards she previously tried to kill herself. It was listed as an answer to a series of questions asked each person booked into the county jail here. Bland said she had tried to kill herself with pills in 2014 after she lost a baby. On a separate area of the questionnaire, Bland said she had never been depressed. Oh, really? Well, State Senator Royce West, a Democrat from Dallas who attended a Tuesday meeting with law enforcement and other officials to discuss questions surrounding Bland's death, said the kind of information disclosed in Bland's intake form should have prompted jail officials to place her on a suicide watch, meaning a face-to-face check on her welfare every 15 minutes instead of the hourly checks as normally required. Bland told us, well, so you put her on a 15-minute watch instead of 60-minute watch. She'll do it at minute 5. If somebody's going to kill themselves,
yes,
they're going to kill themselves.
Yes.
Well, Bland told a second corrections officer that she was upset about her arrest. Show me a homie who ain't. Oh, man, I'm so upset with my arresting stuff. Well, that's the best I could do without swearing.
Yes.
Well, she also told officials that she suffered from epilepsy and was taking the drug Keppra to prevent seizures. Kepra's side effects can include suicidal thoughts, depression, and anxiety, you lying hoe. Yes, the seizure medication without tapering off can cause seizures that will not stop, according to UCB Inc., a Brussels-based pharmaceutical company that manufactures the drug. Bland's now the family, they're going to be able to go after the police department. Yes. They're going to be able to go after the state.
Yes.
Ooh, and a big drug company, a lot of money. Yeah, I hear tell one black family got $135,000 just the other day. Well, Encina, who has been a trooper for a little more than a year, so very recent with his training, has been placed on desk duty for violating unspecified police procedures and the Texas Department of Public Safety's courtesy policy. Oh, that must be the PC policy of how to handle black people. You got to have all these special ways to handle all these special people.
Yes.
It's great to see that PC movement every day, one step closer to equality. Yeah. So there you go. There it is. No, sorry, it's not another black person murdered viciously by police.
Yes.
No, stand down, put your signs away, and do not torch your Nike shoe stores. Well, moving on today, do I actually have to? I do actually have to, yeah.
Yes.
You know what time it is, Gilbert?
Break for a commercial.
That's what time it is. That's right. So we're going to go for that commercial, but don't worry. When we come back, you don't have to actually listen to the weather report again. No, I won't do that. I know I threatened it, but yeah. I won't. Primarily, you want to know why?
Yes.
Because I can't handle it. That's right. So we're not going to do that today. Everybody's greatly relieved for that, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So we won't do that. But when we come back from the break, we'll tell you about a new report that's out today about roads in the USA. Yes, 1 in 4 of them are damaged, costing motorists an additional $1,000 a year, in addition to everything you already pay for your tax, title, and insurance.
Yes.
In addition to everything you pay for your taxes.
Yes.
Because the government's got other plans for that money. Monsanto. So it looks like motorists are going to have to fill the bill personally. It's a big story, and it's coming up right after these special messages.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Good morning. Welcome to Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where fresh always tastes better. What can I make you this morning?
How about our new flatbread breakfast paninis? Made fresh, just for you, with your favorite breakfast ingredients on maple or multigrain flatbread, then grilled to hot, melted perfection. Just $2.99. Who couldn't warm up to that?
Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where quality really does meet value.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Let's do a brand new day. Let's step away from the bland and let the color fly. Let's get to the one store with more #1 choices and match this or this without using too much of this. Then, let's crack open a can and get to it. Paint? No. Let's do POW. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Glidden Duo starts at a new lower price of $25.46 a gallon.
Batten down your glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
On Twitter, @RealGilbert, ACP.
Oh, you jamming that in still, are you?
Yeah. Hey, yo, Joe, hey.
Man, I don't know what to say about you today. You're just whack.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I remember, and this is why I feel I have a real connection with you.
Oh yeah, back on that.
Because in the alleyway,
yeah.
When that's the beginning.
Uh-huh.
She bent over in the alleyway, and you inserted yourself.
Oh yeah.
And then she started to blow me, and my erection was kind of a semi-erection because I kept looking at you. So when you're standing there trying to get a blowjob and looking at really hard, and then I remember.
Oh God!
I had a hotel room.
Yeah.
So we both went up there. And you went first.
Yeah. What's so damn?
You are my opening act.
What's so damn surprising? Of course.
That's the famous story about Jerry Lee Lewis. You heard that story, haven't you?
Yes.
Sitting behind his desk at Paramount, talking with big executives and TV people, and all of a sudden the chick pops up underneath, wipes off her mouth, and walks out the door, and Jerry doesn't have an eye.
Well, there you go. There it is. That's right. Your coffee and cigarettes, your Thursday double-double for the 23rd of July, 2015. Still 85 degrees in New York Central Park right now. Sunny skies. Damn, it's mighty fine. 6:20 in the p.m. in the big city right now, and you feel better for knowing it.
Yes.
Well, welcome back to the big show, of course. We're happy to have you all here, and, yeah. I guess we'll just wait for the music.
The music is fantastic.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you got to hear it.
Yeah.
And it's over now, Louis.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
There we go. All right. Well, moving on. Yeah, new report out today. 1 in 4 urban roads in the USA are damaged. It's going to cost motorists up to $1,000 a year. From Washington today, damaged big city roads cost motorists as much as $1,000 a year now in added maintenance, according to a report obtained by HTLA. And we're being used to urge Congress to approve a new highway bill to replace the one expiring in July 31st. More than 1/4, 28% of urban interstates, freeways, and arterial routes, and at least 2 lanes are paved in, quote, poor condition in 2013, according to the report from TRIP, a nonprofit transportation research group funded by industry groups such as construction businesses and unions. TRIP collated the data from the Federal Highway Administration's road ratings. Poor roads of cracked or broken pavement often show sign of distress or underlying foundation, or recently attacked by dune sandworms. Well, the poorly maintained roads cost an average motorist $516 a year in added maintenance cost, the report calculates. Among places with at least 500,000 people, the cities with the greatest share of damaged roads are San Francisco at 74%, Los Angeles and Long Beach at 73%, and the war-torn war zone of Detroit at 56%. According to the report, bumpy roads are ahead. America's roughest rides and strategies to make our roads smoother. Among cities with 250 to 500,000 people, the worst roads are Flint, Michigan at 54%, Antioch, California at 52%, and Santa Rosa, California at 49%, according to the report. Bottom line, it's going to cost you an assload. Whatever, I got good coffee. I don't care.
Yes.
That's, of course, absolutely correct, of course. Thank you very much. This show is, of course, brought to you by the Tim Hortons in New York City. Now with those 8 fine locations to serve all your coffee and baked good needs. And that Sip Sigh was also brought to you by them. Well, moving on, the nation's rough roads stress nerves and cost billions in unnecessary vehicle replacement, repair, and fuel costs, says Jill Agrazia, AAA's Managing Director of Government Relations and Traffic Safety Advocacy. Full investment in our nation's transportation system will reduce the financial burden on drivers to provide them with a smoother, safer, more efficient ride. Oh, maybe I should market myself to the ladies like that. I'm a smarter, safer, more efficient ride. That's right, ladies. You'll do less work when I'm on the driver's seat. Well, the deteriorating conditions of our nation's urban roads threatens the health of the nation's economy, in fact, reducing the efficiency of our region's businesses and employers, says Janet Kavinke, the Executive Director of Transportation for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The TRIP report comes as the Senate debates a 6-year highway bill that is only funded for 3 years, leaving the next Congress to find additional funding. Well, that shouldn't be too hard. They can just take it out of the billions of dollars a year they get for veterans funding. But, of course, the veterans never see that.
Yes.
No, it goes to Monsanto. Well, that would provide $50 billion beyond what is already collected from the 18.4 cent per gallon gas tax that we already currently pay. Hello.
Yes.
The additional funding coming from spending cuts or changes in federal policies elsewhere, like your VA benefits. Yeah. Or lack thereof. Yeah. In another strategy, the House approved an $8 billion bill to temporarily extend highway policy to December 18th to give lawmakers more time to find permanent funding. December 18th.
Yes.
That's like months away.
Yes.
Well, I know Jeb Bush takes 9 years to make a good decision, but how come lawmakers need, 5 months to figure what? Well, with state and local governments struggling to fund needed road repairs and with federal surface transportation funding set to expire this month, road conditions are projected to get even worse than they are right now, says Will Wilkins, TRIP's executive director. Bud Wright, the executive director of the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, said road maintenance depends on federal investment. Quote, "We can do better than uncertainty in the short-term extensions," Wright said. Do better than uncertainty in the short-term extension. That doesn't even make any sense. We hear that all the time from Obama.
Yes.
Oh, we can do better. We're going to have to punch above our weight. We're going to... Well, moving on today, our next story actually, look at that. It has to do with the veterans. That's right, ladies and gentlemen of the United States of America. Yes. Yes, the VA has 41,500 unfilled medical jobs, forcing vets into costly private care. And if you think that's bad, pretty much everything else forces the vets into costly private everything else. Well, the Veterans Health Administration has 41,500 job vacancies for doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals across its sprawling healthcare system at a time when it is struggling to provide timely medical care for veterans, according to records obtained and analyzed by HTLA. The failure to fully staff hospitals is one reason why the Department of Veterans Affairs paid 1.5 million veterans paid for 1.5 million veterans to see doctors outside the agency in the past year. VA Deputy Secretary Sloan Gibson, or as I like to call him, Frankie McDonald, well, he testified late last month saying, "Those private visits have cost U.S. taxpayers more than $7.7 billion. Well, the added expenses have left the VA with $2.6 billion shortfall this year, prompting the VA Secretary Bob McDonald. Oh, shit, it's Frankie's brother. forced Bob McDonald to plead with lawmakers today to quickly pass a bill that gives him flexibility to shift money within the VA budget to cover the gap. Gibson testified before Congress on June 26 that the shortfall would not have been so large if it were properly set up and fully staffed up. But neither McDonald nor Gibson told Congress just how many medical jobs are unfilled in the 150 hospital system, which funds roughly 210,000 full-time medical positions instead. Both told lawmakers that they have increased medical and non-medical staff by 12,000 in the past year. Thank you very much. This is Frankie McDonald. I'm starting to see some more problems with the VA.
Yes.
Like their leadership.
Yes.
Well, in 2014, the VA was plunged into a scandal over delays in providing medical care, including systematic manipulation of appointment records to cover up those delays. Oddly enough, Hillary Clinton was not implicated. So then Secretary Eric Shalinsky was forced to resign. HTLA discovered that 41,500 vacancies as of late June in data obtained through Freedom of Information Act requests. The full and part-time positions include openings for 5,000 physicians, nearly 12,000 nurses, and more than 1,200 psychologists, according to the data. 4 locations were short at least 100 doctors: Orlando, Portland, Oregon, Baltimore, and Salt Lake City. Each of those locations also had at least 100 vacant nursing positions. Portland alone needed nearly 300 additional part-time and full-time nurses. When asked this week about the omission from Gibson's testimony, Janet Murphy, Deputy Undersecretary for Health Operations and Management, said, "I can't speak to the deputy's testimony." Well, why are we wasting our effing time talking to you?
Yes.
She just wanted me to mention her name on the show. Well, she did confirm, though, that the 41,500 vacancies, saying the VA is working hard to recruit and hire more medical professionals. I will say some of these facilities have too many vacancies, and they need to get them filled, and we need to help fill them, she said. Damn, she's good. Well, in some places, more than 1 in 5 jobs appeared unfilled. For example, according to recent testimony at the House Subcommittee meeting on VA hiring practices, 2,020 physician assistants worked for the VA earlier this year. The records show that 639 openings for physician assistants and a vacancy rate of 25%. Murphy said the VA was competing in a tough market to attract medical professionals despite a widely publicized effort by McDonald to recruit doctors from medical schools. One reason she cited was President Obama's expanded health insurance program that has made medical professionals more in demand. Another factor is that they pay for many positions is lower than in the private sector. Others said the VA's bureaucratic hiring procedures and vacancies within its Human Resources Department made the process too cumbersome and slow. There are nurses out there who want to work with us, says Joan Clifford, immediate past president of the Nurses Organization of Veterans Affairs. But most people aren't going to wait 2 months for a job when the hospital down the street is going to hire you in a few weeks. The VA's vacancy problem has gotten significantly worse over the past 6 months. The Arizona Republic reported that the VA had 31,000 unfilled medical job openings in July of 2014. It's just that one state.
Yes.
Wow. Since then, Congress has passed legislation increasing medical staffing by, aren't they generous, 10,000. Well, moving on today. Moving on. We got more. Yes. We got lots more. God damn, we still got another half hour to go. Yes, jurors find a theater shooting case especially heinous. Yes, in Centennial, Colorado, jurors today found that the Aurora Theater shooting defendants' actions were especially heinous, advancing the possibility that James Holmes will receive the death penalty. The same jurors last week convicted Holmes of 165 counts in connection with the 12 shooting deaths and 70 injuries in a suburban Denver theater as fans watched Batman. In Colorado, jurors considering the death sentence must first decide if the crime had aggravating factors present, making it, quote, especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel or depraved. After tossing a tear gas canister toward the exit, Holmes fired a handgun, shotgun, and rifle into the darkened auditorium where fans were watching the midnight premiere of The Dark Knight Rises. Well, jurors found 4 out of the 5 aggravating factors present in all 24 first-degree murder counts. Holmes has been convicted of 2 counts of murder for each of the 12 victims. The 12 jurors now will weigh mitigating factors such as mental illness or his upbringing, which could persuade them that Holmes' life should be spared. Yeah, it's his upbringing. Yeah. Well, we have that in Canada, too. You know, you get to be about 7, 8 years old,
yes.
You know, and mom takes you out to the range and gives you the guns.
Yes.
And then, of course, after, you know, a couple of weeks of the range thing, when you can actually hit targets,
yes.
You know, then they take you out to the movie theater. And, yeah, so, you know, being a proud Canadian, I can certainly see where that could be a mitigating factor, you idiots! Well, Holmes will get life in prison automatically. Defense lawyers are expected to call a handful of witnesses to flesh out the story of his life in an effort to give at least one juror pause. Finally, if jurors find the aggravating factors outweigh mitigating factors, they'll decide whether to impose the death penalty. Under Colorado law, only juries can impose the death penalty, and it's rarely brought forth as a possible punishment. Prosecutors expect to call perhaps 40 witnesses, many of them and survivors, to describe their suffering and loss. During the trial, prosecutors played numerous hours of video recorded interviews that the court-appointed psychiatrist conducted with Holmes. In many recordings made nearly over 2 years after the shootings, Holmes rarely showed any emotion or regret. Instead, he matter-of-factly explained how he had faked a phone call to duck outside as the previews rolled, put a clamp on the emergency exit to hold it open, and then returned a few minutes later as The Dark Knight Rises began playing.
Yes.
Police and prosecutors say Holmes also rigged his apartment with homemade explosives and incendiary compounds, along with gasoline and napalm made from styrofoam cups. Jurors convicted him of 1 count of possessing an explosive device. I remember back when I was about 20 years old, I got convicted of that.
Yes.
Of course, that was my incredible penis. Yeah, you know, the thing that really gets me about this case, you know, when I first heard it, I thought, you know, Jesus Christ, the least he could have done, the absolute very least this bastard could have done before slaughtering all those people.
Yes.
Well, you know, just let them finish The Dark Knight Rises. You know, nothing's got to suck more.
Yes.
You know, you pay your 25 or what is it, $30 now a ticket to. Then you go in and you go and spend your $35 on popcorn. $12.50 each for a couple of Cokes. You know, and when I first saw that price, I was like, oh, well, that's okay. They probably include the rum. You know. But, of course, then I found out they didn't, and I haven't been to a movie since.
Yes.
But, you know, you go in there and you sit through all the freaking ads and the promos and the trailers for other shit you can't afford. Finally, the curtains open up and the Dark Knight rises. And then boom, 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 it's all over.
Yes.
That just sucks ass. Just for that, I hope he gets death.
Yeah.
Well, moving on today, we got some NASA news in the news. And yes, no, it's not goddamn Pluto. No. NASA's Kepler spacecraft spots planet, yes, somebody else might call home. Oh, my. Captain, there's an inhabitable planet just over there.
Yes.
Nice ass. Well, scientists have spotted a planet much the same size as our Earth, orbiting a star that closely resembles our Sun, making this new world, well, the most likely known place outside our solar system to harbor life. The newfound planet, referred to as Kepler 452b, is the closest thing we have to another place that somebody else might call home. John Jenkins of NASA's Ames Research Center told reporters today the planet has just the right temperature to boast liquid water, and for some 6 billion years now, a considerable time and opportunity for life to arise somewhere on its surface or its oceans. Assuming that the place has all the necessary ingredients for life, Jenkins said. Researchers have found other planets outside the solar system that are nearly the same size as Earth and that are probably rocky as Earth is, but those planets circle dim, cool stars very different from our own sun. Whereas 452b is hitched to a star very much like ours. If we could send plants to 452b, Jenkins said, they would comfortably photosynthesize. Yeah. We want to find planets around solar system type stars like our sun because we're here on Earth and we know there's life out there. Oh, Christ. That's Jeffrey Coughlin of SETI, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Institute told reporters today the new planet is about 60% bigger in diameter than the Earth, the researchers said. It has a better than even chance of having a rocky surface, which would make good platforms for life to gain a foothold. Assuming it's rocky, it would also have active volcanoes and perhaps a thick atmosphere. This new Earth cousin was spotted by NASA's Kepler telescope, which has watched for barely perceptible dips in the amount of light coming from stars in the constellations Lyra and Cygnus. A slight dimming signals that something, perhaps a planet, is blocking some of the light emanating from the star. Could also be that alien spaceship come to harvest us. To which I'm going to get on my other radio and say... Yes, and for all of you who don't speak Cygnusese...
Yes.
I was saying, don't shoot. While other scientists were not involved with the research on 452b, an exciting example of a planet that is in the Goldilocks zone, where it's neither too hot nor too cold for liquid water to persist. You could say this is the first viable Goldilocks planet with dozens more potentially, said MIT astronomer Sarah Seeger via email. All the time, it's not clear that 452b is rocky. It could be made of ice, or it could have a thick hydrogen envelope that would choke off the possibility of life, says astronomer Josh Pepper of Lehigh University. It could also have a completely fluid environment with fluidic space creatures in it ready to suck our brains. Well, we're getting closer and closer to a true Earth analog, Pepper says, but it's going to take a long time before we can confirm whether these planets are really Earth-like. That's because it will be very difficult to measure the mass of 452b or similar planets, he said, which in turn will make it hard to know whether they are rocky. Since we don't know anything else about the planets as of yet, it's like composition and atmosphere. It's, of course, hard to tell how good it actually is for plant life, says planetary scientist Abel Mendez of the University of Puerto Rico via email. Even if 452b turns out to be a dead world, Kepler is cornered 7 more possible planets in the habitable zone, where there could be liquid water, Coughlin said. If those candidate planets are confirmed, there are some really interesting discoveries on the horizon. I was just telling them we come in peace.
Yes.
Well, moving on today, we got some Obama news of a sort. Yeah. And, I've always kind of been a proponent of, no black in the White House. But, I mean, that's nothing new.
Yes.
No. And it's not that I hate them. No. It's that the First Lady does stupid shit like this. That's right. The First Lady appears with rapper Whale. Of course, to offer advice to college students at the White House.
Yes.
Now, first of all, where in anybody's reality can a rapper offer advice to any college student? Huh? I really think Monsanto. I think they should put something in the water. Well, in Washington today, Manuel Contreras felt lost when he stepped on Brown University's campus as a freshman in 2012. Contreras, a son of a Mexican immigrant, says he felt an obligation to attend college. He would be the first member of his family to do so. So many of us in our community don't have voices in this country, Contreras said. He told a panel of students at the White House today. By getting an education, you're able to walk between two different worlds. Yes, that of the educated and that of the dumbass gangsta rapper. Contreras, entering his senior year at Brown University, has made the most of his experience. He founded 1VYG, an Ivy League network for first-generation college students, and he was tapped to come to the White House to provide advice to incoming college students. More than 130 college-bound students gathered at the White House today for First Lady Michelle Obama's 2015, quote, Beating the Odds Summit. And, of course, by beating the odds,
yes.
That is actually the summit that is part of her Reach Higher initiative. Well, attendees came from diverse backgrounds, urban, rural, valedictorians, some even struggling with, well, yes, homelessness. But despite these differences and economic woes, the White House says these students have overcome substantial obstacles to persist through high school and actually make it to college. Well, education should be cool again, Obama told a room of incoming college students. Yeah, that'll help. Education always was cool for the white kids. Yes, this should be the cool thing to do in life. Yeah, why didn't you go then? Well, students explored parts of the White House throughout the day and attended panels to learn how to navigate financial aid, approach the college social scene, and adapt to a new environment, according to Eric Waldo, the Reach Higher executive director. Launched in 2014 by the First Lady, Reach Higher aims to encourage high schoolers to pursue higher education. Man, can we say high more? Oh, right. I guess technically that word would really relate to, a lot of them. Well, the initiative has 4 goals, of course. Expose more students to college and, well, potential career opportunities.
Yes.
Encourage academic and summer planning.
Yes.
Okay, I'll leave that one alone.
Yeah.
To make college more affordable.
Yes.
Good luck with that one. And, of course, finally, to provide support to high school counselors and mentors.
Yes.
Shit that we already have in place everywhere. Well, E! News co-anchor Terrence Jenkins hosted a panel Thursday featuring Michelle Obama, Contreras, and rapper Whale, and Education Secretary Arnie Duncan. Students heard stories and advice from panelists and asked questions about their experiences with higher education, to which the rapper dropped his microphone and ran out of the room. Well, apparently, like many attendees, Obama was a first-generation college student and attended... No. She didn't attend Princeton. She got that as an honorary thing when she became First Lady. She emphasized the importance of hard work and asking for help being the key to success. When we asked her for some money for the station, she denied to comment. So now we're afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
She says, don't be afraid of hard work. I said, bitch, I've been doing this hard for 5 years. Oh, yes. Hard work is the core of everything, and if it's too easy, then you're probably not working hard enough. F you. And success ain't easy, she said, which I said, aight, yo. She slapped me high five, I slapped her ass, and that was the end of it.
Yes.
Failure is a necessary part of growth and success, Obama said. Don't let that be your mental barrier. Roll up your sleeves. Don't be afraid to work hard. Oh, shut the hell up. Well, the Reach Higher initiative says it actively includes the Department of Education in its strategy and implementation, but offers them no money. That's right, Department of Education. You don't need a federal budget. You just need to work harder.
Yes.
That's right. Whale attended Virginia State, Bowie State, and Robert Morris College, but dropped out before graduating because, well, he's a rapper. And since then, he has released 4 studio albums and planned to perform for the students later on today. But for him, college was not about the degree. Between football and all the bitches. He said it allowed me to have more time to figure out what I wanted to do, yo.
Oh, my God, he's becoming black. I like it. Do a little rap.
No, I'm doing the radio thing. I'm doing the... It just needs more hard work.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, since its inception, the Reach Higher initiative has pushed more colleges for readiness and inspiration in high schools across the country to encourage those students to aim high with their GACs. And Mrs. Obama also created a college signing day where nonprofits and community leaders around the country can host events to celebrate graduating high school seniors who plan on attending college and throwing their lives away on 6-figure student loans. Well, more than 500 nonprofits have committed to the initiative, Waldo said. Those organizations nominated the students who were selected to come to the White House on Thursday. As much as possible in the country, we try to build a culture around students who are pursuing an education beyond high school. Waldo told HTLA that bringing together over 140 young people who all have overcome incredible obstacles, well, I think it's a testament that all people can pursue education. To which I would say, in this country of 25 million now?
Yes.
You haul in 140 and call it a day? What? Well, moving on today, we've got some fun stuff.
Yes.
You know, as if all of this other stuff wasn't fun enough. But... Yes, and of course, well, this is a little Voices editorial.
Yes.
And it was something today that I saw in my news feed that I just could not pass up.
Yes.
Of course, it's a edition of Voices from USA Today, and it is entitled... Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Louis, are you awake?
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
All right. Here it is. Caitlyn Jenner made me love me. That's right. Caitlyn Jenner says we're all different. That's not a bad thing. Well, Caitlyn Jenner really nailed that first impression. Her sit-down with Diane Sawyer in April. Yes, June's Vanity Fair cover, which she spread that nastiness all over the place. Yes, and of course, who can forget July's profound ESP Wise speech? It was all courageous and somewhat elaborate introduction to the world, and also heavily sponsored by Monsanto. And of course, that was all just the beginning. With E's new docu-series, I Am Kate, premiering Sunday, we'll get to know even more about the former Olympian, known previously as Bruce Jenner. The show puts Jenner in the executive producer's chair now. I think this is like the 6th thing that he's been that he's gone and done with absolutely no training or experience whatsoever. Yes, putting her in that producer's chair, allowing her to take charge of her story. No gimmicks, just openness and honest. Ooh, I don't want to see that spread. Yes, no gimmicks, just openness and honesty, and yeah, probably a Kardashian or two. Throughout Caitlyn's journey, I have only been a spectator. I've watched from afar as she's become the most truthful version of herself. We're all different. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, she said at the ESPY Awards last week, accepting the Arthur Ashe Courage Award. Yes, unfortunately, the Navy SEAL who went and got dropped into hostile territory, went and saved 12 other military servicemen and women, and saved 16 little villager kids, did not win the Courage Award. No, because it takes courage to have your dick cut off and become a woman. Oh, it's beautiful to watch. It's humbling to experience, and at its deepest, it's terrifying to witness. Well, you got that right. Yes, it's terrifying, of course, because I knew what Caitlyn's immense bravery would mean for me. It would mean I could no longer lie to myself. Yeah, so I think it's time for a little, oh Christ, introduction of my own. Yes, last February I began my own journey, a journey to better understand my sexuality. It started on Valentine's Day. Ironic, I know, in 2014. It was the first time I ever told anyone that I'm bisexual. I tried to play it cool, downing another gulp of my cheap vodka and lemonade, hoping no one really heard what I had said. Oh, they heard. And even though they were supportive, I instantly regretted saying anything at all.
Yeah.
Opening up about it would be a relief, I thought. Some magical cure-all that would make all the years of pain and confusion go away. It turns out it's not nearly that simple. Revealing something you've spent so much time hiding, like your sexuality or your gender identity, is certainly a step in the right direction. But it's just a step. A step, one you have to take each time you meet someone new. One that's scary every time you do it. One that doesn't really matter unless you accept it for yourself first. And yes, Gilbert, I understand I'm getting into my William Shatner.
Yes.
I remember vividly the first time I was with a guy. It was just a few months after I'd opened up. It was with someone I'd known for a while. He was kind. He was very understanding. But that's not why I remember it. He had such a massive cock. The next day, I was utterly disgusted with myself.
Yes.
I felt worthless and physically ill. I was his whore. I couldn't eat, drink, or sleep for the rest of the week. There was this intense gnawing feeling in the pit of my stomach, telling me I'd made a mistake.
Yeah.
At that point, I hated myself more than ever. Some of that pain continued. A roommate told some friends that I'd been doing this for years. I certainly hadn't. A crush. I opened up and outed me to some of my inner circle. I was told I was lying to myself. I had to be gay. But I was a slut that just wanted more. One gender's not enough for you? That's like a sexual predator, someone told me.
Yes.
Few things hurt more than someone invalidating a natural part of you, especially when you've spent years invalidating it yourself. Over the next year, I began dating. I met some great women and some great men, and came to an important revelation. I love you, Mr. Spock! Oh, no, actually, sorry. I got a little carried away.
Yes.
He goes on here. You can only hate yourself for so long before realizing you're worth more. It may have taken 23 years and a few broken hearts, but I knew it had to stop. This is where Caitlyn comes in. I'm watching her be so open about her story. I saw something, a person, just like me or you. No, not me. Who decided to keep going. She ended the lie she lived for decades to free herself from intense emotional pain and to help others free themselves too. Caitlin, you've succeeded. Even though your journeys are different, I couldn't be more grateful. As a member of the LGBT community and as a human being. A large part of me told me not to write this. I knew that's precisely why I had to do it. Millions of people across the country are scared. Scared of their sexuality, scared of their gender identity, scared to be themselves. That fear cost us too much. Lives, leaders, love. But with each story, with each new voice, it gets a little easier to accept the truths about ourselves. And those truths only lead to more incredible first impressions. And yes, that was my William Shatner, but it was actually written by Carrie Mahoney, who is a digital producer at USA Today. You can follow him/her at The Good Karma on Twitter.
Yes.
But I do love you, Spock. Well, now I'm going to kind of turn the tables a little more. I know it's 6:59, 7 o'clock. We're almost out of time.
Yes.
But, you know, after coming out like that, you know, I feel like I could take on anything, mister. So I'm going to tell you about a courageous or insane couple. Yes, courageous or insane, whatever you want to call it. A couple in North Carolina, beachgoers are running around with shark cage contraptions, and nobody really knows what the hell they're doing. That's right. The recent shark attacks off the coast of North Carolina are no joke, but one couple's photo is just too ridiculous. You can't help but chuckle. Oh, really? I wasn't chuckling. I was like, wow, you people are freaking crazy. Well, Scott Bergman and his wife inadvertently made the internet rounds this week with a photo of them walking into the ocean in bathing suits, holding hands from individual shark cages they made at home.
Yes.
Bergman told Richmond, Virginia TV station WTVR that it was for a parody video, but drew so much attention that it went viral on social media without their involvement. We think they'd be a perfect cameo for Sharknado 4. Yeah. So they've got these little things, and they put them out on Twitter, and God, she's fat. Man, God, people, get jobs. I don't know, man. I just don't know, but okay. Well, they went down there to film their spoof video, but it was other people filming us and taking pictures that really caught the attention and really took off, Bergman told WTVR. The personal cages are made out of PVC plastic pipes and steel bolts. They thought it was just enough to fool the sharks. And he says if he were to sell them, they'd be called Block Jar PSG for $499. Well, joke or not, we'd sure feel a lot safer, albeit ridiculous, taking to the ocean with one of these bad boys, they said. And there it is. That's it. I'm not doing any more. I'm not. I'm just done. Well, hey, welcome to a brand new Coffee and Cigarettes. Yes, today it's... Jenny, wake the hell up. Wrong song. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, she was actually sleeping. And that's pretty much something, because she's only 24.
Yes.
And Louie's like, what, 78 now, Louie?
Yes.
And you're still awake, right?
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, maybe I should get you to come down and run the booth. All Well, we want to thank, of course, the one, the only Louis Lawless for being here today. Really appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yes, we'll get that right out to you. Right out to you. Not a problem. Don't worry about it. Also, Gilbert Gottfried, thanks for being here again, my friend.
Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page.
All right.
On Twitter and on Instagram.
There you go. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. Yeah. And I'm not going to give you the link, so just thank you for being here.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
And also, folks, if you're out there, it might not be in theaters anymore, but get yourselves out to Netflix or somewhere. Go and see The Dark Knight. And give a little something back for all the people who died not seeing it.
Yes.
I thank all the folks in the Spreaker.com live chat room. For everybody, thank you. Haven't heard from them in like an hour. I think they're asleep.
Yes.
But that's okay, because sleep is all about good things and happy things, and sleep is good.
Yes.
Yeah. And hey, if we're putting them to sleep, hey, we're giving them something else they need, Well, thank you, HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, for, letting me keep my job so far. Yep. And if you're out there in and around the New York area, still 83 in Central Park under sunny skies, get out there and enjoy some good evening. And the rest of you, we'll see you tomorrow on the Friday Frappuccino, 5 p.m. Eastern. Be there, be square. Have yourselves a great Thursday night.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.